Alright, here we go with game number 3. This is the final game, meaning both me and my opponent are 2-0. So whoever wins this game takes the whole tournament, takes first place. So I start out by rolling and then re-rolling. I end up with a sidekick, a fist, a shield, which I'm going to spend, pick up an Alfred, and a mask to PXG. So not optimal, but I end up with at least one mask to do some PXG. Here's my opponent's team. If you've seen any of my games against Kevin, who runs the Dragon team, this is actually his wife. Kevin couldn't make it that day, so his wife wanted to come up and play. It's very similar to his team that he's had in the past. He's got the Ant-Man Copper Dragon combo, so he can pay a fist to flip Copper Dragon's attack and defense. He's got the Half Dragon, that's a rare, so anytime he fields a dragon, he can pick up an action that's 3 cost for free. He's got the really low cost Baby Dragon on there with some great stat lines. He's got the Red Dragon, obviously. So she goes ahead and rolls her dice up. She gets a sidekick and a shield, question mark, mask combo. She's going to pay a question mark to KO a sidekick and pay 1 for a big entrance, which is going to go into her bag. I go ahead and PXG, and she passes her turn over to me. She saved herself a mask to go ahead and PXG as well. Draw my 4 from the bag, add 2, and roll it up. I get a lot of energy. 1 sidekick. Don't really need that sidekick. So I'm going to probably want to re-roll that sidekick, but I don't. I choose to keep it, and it looks like I'm going to pay a bolt and KO a sidekick to pay 2 and pick up a Bruce Wayne.
Pass priority.
I go ahead and end my turn, pass over to her, she PXGs, and then I end my turn. She's got a lot of dice she's rolling this turn, and one of those is Big Entrance, so she's going to have a lot of energy with which to use Big Entrance, which she lands. My opponent goes ahead and picks up her dice, rolls again, gets rid of those 2 sidekicks that she had. Going to use Big Entrance and purchase some stuff at a much reduced cost. So she uses Big Entrance. Doesn't push it over to the used, but she tells me she used it. Picks up a Half Dragon for cheap. And then she paid obviously she paid a bolt for it. And now she's going to, what is she going to do? Save her 2 question marks, I guess? Yeah, it looks like she's going to save those. I go ahead and PXG 4 dice over, pull 4 from my bag. Don't have any in my bag, actually, so I roll everything. So that's good management on my end of my energy. Accidentally drop a die. Roll everything up, and I get the Bruce Wayne on the first roll, so I'm going to try to re-roll my Alfred, see if I can get him, and I can actually start my whole combo right away. Pick everything up, re-roll it, and Alfred does indeed come up. Even if Alfred hadn't shown up, I still would have been able to do the combo. I just wouldn't have been able to have extra Batman characters on the field, so I would have to pay more for those Batmen. So I Red Dragon Global here, dealing her 1 damage, and pick up one of my Vigilante Justice dice. It's a really cool synergy in this with this card in this team. Just because I'm going to be knocking out characters, and so I can knock out one of my characters, capture one of her characters, and also knock out one of her characters, all with a bolt. So it's pretty cool. She draws, she rolls everything up. Does not land the Half Dragon, but she does the second time. So she has the Half Dragon and a lot of energy. She's going to have to pay 2 to field it, so she does. Bolt and a shield go out, and she has a lot of energy left. Everything is reduced by 2, so she picks up 2 of her baby dragons for 1 each. And then I'm thinking about how I want to PXG so that I don't burn myself, I don't take burn damage. I often don't take burn damage, or I often try to avoid burn damage as much as possible. Even though the generic energy is nice, I just don't like hurting myself with such a low cap on health at 20. That any one big play can really knock you down, and if I'm helping my opponent by injuring myself, then how much am I really benefiting from those extra generic? So I use Big Entrance, or excuse me, I use Vigilante Justice. Then I pay 3 to pick up a Batman. Now all I have to do is pay a Bolt to KO and reduce the cost of something by 2. And if I do so, like it looks like I'm going to do that right now, KO something, that also means that my opponent gets a character KO'd. So her half dragon is going to KO. I go ahead and show her the corresponding text. Can't capture anything on her side, so technically my Alfred is captured. And now I have an open board with which to swing at with my Batman. So she's going to take a guaranteed 6 damage if I choose to swing, and I do. So she drops down to 13. And the great thing is, now that it's back in the used pile, I can actually do that exact same thing again. She draws one of her and 2 of her baby dragons. So this might be a really big turn for her. I only have 2 blockers on the field, and she's rolled, oh well, she only rolled 1 of her characters, which is good for me. Let's see what else she does. Obviously she's going to want to re-roll her other characters. See what else she chooses to roll a lot of energy. And both characters come up, so she actually has 4 characters she's going to be able to put out. The half dragon, the sidekick, and 2 of her baby dragons. Each time she fields a baby dragon, and she's doing everything in the right order. Each time she fields, she can pick up a, she looks like she's going to pick up a big entrance for free. Now she's got a nice board here. The question is, does she want to attack? She's going to KO a sidekick, pay a bolt, reducing something by 2, paying 2 with big entrance, and the discount to pick up a red dragon. Such a cool combo if you can get everything to stick, and if you can get your half dragon on the board. You can really buy up a lot of powerful dice for really cheap. So again, I managed to keep everything out of my bag, which is my goal. And now that I know red dragon is in the bag and coming, I need to make sure that I have stuff on the board that is going to survive a breath weapon attack. Because I'm going to need blockers, since a breath weapon is a while attacking ability. So did not roll the Batman. That's not so good. Going to need to re-roll everything there. I'm in a decent position, as I have at least 2 on the field that are going to reduce the cost of more Batmen. But unfortunately, I re-rolled my Batman, and it came up the 1 mask instead of the 2 masks. So in that roll, I actually net loss energy. Paying 3 for another Batman. And it's right to not pay with the Batman energy, that mask on the Batman die, because I can use that with PX or to PXG instead. KO a sidekick, bring a Batman out, capture one of her baby dragons. So I no longer have to capture my own character. I am going to use Vigilante Justice, which I should have used first, because then I could have technically made her, or I could have chosen one of her dice to KO along with that and capture. You can tell I'm still fairly new to the combos within this team, because I'm tunnel visioning everything. Nothing feels natural, even though it's working really well. I'll swing for 6. She blocks with her baby dragon, knocks it out. She gets her other one back and takes no damage. So I have 2 masks that I left over. One of them is a mask on the Batman die, so I'll use that to PXG, and I can't bring that over, which is why I kept it. So she rolls her red dragon right away. Luckily, she rolls it on its lowest face. One of those big entrants comes up as a big entrance. One of them comes up as a generic 2. She's going to pay 1 to field that red dragon. She certainly has the energy to breath weapon. So the question is, will she? She's thinking about what she wants to do with that energy there. could KO something, or she's going to pay 1 to pick up a copper dragon. Pop it in the bag because of big entrance. She also bought one of my Dark Avenger dice for free. She had already used up her free purchases on big entrance. She's picking up my Dark Avengers. I would have probably picked up Vigilante Justice because she's using Blue Eyes just as much as I am. She also picks up 2 of her the other 2 baby dragon dice that she had. I PXG 4 dice over. Gonna have to actually use the bag here, so I draw those 4 from the bag, shake them up. So that's a really good draw. And I land, actually, this is really interesting, I land the Batman on his level 3 face. One of the great things about this team is it's very easy to calculate damage because you're basically always going to have 6 attacks swinging at the opponent. Unless you're running the Robin, in which case you're going to have 8 because the Robin, well, depending on what side you roll, you get the +3 from the Robin. But multiples of 6 with those Batmen. So you only need 4 Batmen to kill. So I paid a field, and I field a sidekick. I KO a sidekick and pay a bolt. So I got to capture some stuff, and looks like I'm going to take that red dragon. It's probably the good call. I take that because if she chooses to block with that red dragon, it's going to KO one of my Batman dice. And I want to avoid as much KOing of the Batman dice as possible because I can't pull them from prep, only from used or the bag with that combo. Going to KO Alfred. He's going to come on back on his 1/1 face. Going to take the baby dragon. So I'm slowly working her board down, fielding another Batman. And at this point, I could do it again, but I'd rather PXG twice and keep my bag low, especially if one of those is going to go through, and it is. That'll go right into the bag next turn. She's going to block with the other 2 dice. She goes down to 7 because one of those Batman could not have been blocked. Did not have enough blockers. So I'll be able to PXG over 4 white dice. I have 2 in the bag. Or 1. Maybe 1 in the bag. She's going to roll everything again except one of those baby dragons. She has a ton of stuff to field, which means she could purchase up a lot of actions. If she fields that half dragon. I don't know if she rolled that half dragon. It's hard to tell. She did not. She only got 2 bolt sides, so she can't actually buy up all these actions. But she is going to field just about everything in the world. She has a huge board, which is extremely scary. I'm going to PXG 4 over, and the question is now, is she going to attack? Obviously can't breath weapon. She chooses not to attack. Builds up a huge board, which means I am going to have to whittle away at that board because I don't have overcrush damage, so I can't punch through it. I'm going to have to capture or control her board a little more. So I have the bolts to do it. Got 1, 2, 3 bolts if I use the question mark as a bolt and not a mask. I'd really like to reroll that Vigilante Justice because that would help a ton. But it does not come up. I do get another bolt, however. There's not a lot out there on the field to KO, and if one of those Alfreds does not come back, or if that Alfred does not come back, I should say, then I'm really in trouble. So I purchase a Batman, field a sidekick, and KO said sidekick with a bolt. So that is going to move my 6/5 Batman on the field. I have now purchased all Batman, so that will capture that red dragon. I actually choose to capture the copper dragon because it's got such a big back end. It's got such a good toughness that if I don't capture that, she can physically block and not get KO'd. I pick up a Robin. It's kind of more of just an impulse buy. Or not an impulse buy, a necessary buy, I should say, because now I can roll that and see if it comes back. The Alfred, I mean. Alfred does come back. I'm left with a 2 generic, which is kind of useless. Not going to do much with it. Then I'm left with the question of, do I attack or do I not? So I pay the 2. I had the big entrance there. I paid the 2 to pick up one other of my Vigilante Justices, and I attack with an Alfred and a Batman. She blocks with a Baby Dragon and a sidekick. KOs my Alfred, but he comes right back on the field. My turn ends. She gets her characters back. Now I'm looking at an even scarier board if she re-rolls and rolls all this stuff up. She has all 3 big entrances at one time. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is pretty crazy. And rolls 2 of them as energy and 1 of them as a big entrance, which is exactly what you want to roll. She also lands the character, so that's a pretty optimal roll, except those energies aren't super useful minus the Resurrection Global. She has to pay to field though, so it comes in handy. Fist doesn't do much, except flip the attack and defense. So instead of looking at a 4-8, I'm looking at an 8-4. So I have to PXG before she can pay for Breath Weapon. She's going to pay to deal 4 to my board. She's paying 3 for the Red Dragon's Breath Weapon and 1 for the Copper Dragon's Breath Weapon. That KOs just the Alfred, and he comes right back. But it does also KO the Bruce Wayne. So now I have to choose how to block. And this is actually good that she chose to attack right here. Even though she did 4 direct damage to me, I can now choose how things go and hopefully set myself up for a next turn win. Because I can choose to let some things through. And I have the health to allow a couple of these things to hit me. So I KO the Red Dragon, I KO the Copper Dragon, 1 of the, or 2 of the Baby Dragons KO, all of my characters KO. And now I move all my health down. I took a lot of damage that turn, and she points out my board, or my field zone is empty. But now I have the opportunity to re-roll 3 Batmen, 1 Alfred, 1 Bruce Wayne, another Batman, another Alfred. So that's it. That's Dice Masters. It is a game of board swings. If you commit everything and allow that stuff to get KO'd, then you can put yourself in a precarious position, especially with a combo like this where I can literally pick off her blockers, capture them, if you will. And there I rolled a lot of the things that I needed. I have 2 bolts, so I could probably use 1 more bolt and pick up everything. If I don't pick up 1 more bolt, then I can probably work my way around the problem, but having 1 more bolt guarantees it. A lot of characters, though. Might actually be guaranteed right now if I just swing out. I think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll just the same. If I had used that combo and kept it and re-rolled. I got 1 more bolt, and I kept a sidekick, and I have an Alfred now too. Question is, can I pay for everything while keeping the bolts? Thankfully, those Batmen actually did come up energy, so I can pay to get everything on the field. Fielding everything. Those all fielded for free. Paying 2 to field that Batman. I have 2 Batmen on their top faces now. Using Big Entrance, using Vigilante Justice, I am going to KO something, pay a bolt, KO one of my Alfreds KO a sidekick. That's going to KO 1 of her characters and capture another of her characters. That KOs. Now she's left with 1 blocker. If I just do it again, KO and Alfred, nothing to re-roll with, so he just goes straight to KO. But I capture, and I have an open board, and I swing. So with that, I am able to go 3-0 in this tournament and pick up the tournament win. So it was a lot of fun. This is a really fun team, a really, combo heavy. It's very combo heavy, and it takes a lot of control and understanding about the different combos. But man, is it a lot of fun. So if you can, if you have the pieces for it, I would highly suggest putting this team together and giving it a whirl yourself. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next couple of videos.